Hey yogis, Melissa here, and I wanted to use today to tell you a little bit about myself and who I am and how and why I started teaching yoga and holding international yoga retreats. So originally I'm from a little beach town called Flagler Beach, Florida, and I lived there till I was about 18. And that's when I moved to Jacksonville and went to the University of North Florida and graduated with a degree in communications. After that, I ended up moving to Southern California, where I spent 3 years working in sales. So where did the whole yoga teacher thing happen, right? So I took my first yoga class when I was about 19, but I had had a lot of experience with meditation and hypnosis therapy because my mother is a therapist. So from the age of around 3, I was her guinea pig. And so she would put me under hypnosis and we would do meditations together. So I remember as a kid, I was doing meditations for people on the playground. So I guess it was kind of in my blood from a very young age to want to teach. So I started practicing at first when I was 19 and I fell in love with yoga. And when I moved to Southern California, I really got a lot deeper into my practice, but it was just very personal for me. I never wanted to teach. It was just something that kind of got me through the challenging times in life. Because as a child and as a teenager, I experienced a lot of trauma. And so eventually into my 20s, that trauma started to catch up to me and I needed to find a way to heal. But therapy was so expensive and I didn't realize exactly what was going on with my mind and body at that time. But what I found was that in yoga, I could actually release some of that tension and release some of that internal turmoil that I was experiencing. And that's when yoga became therapy for me. And that's when I really devoted a lot of my life and my heart and my mind to the practice. So I continued practicing, and eventually after 3 years in California, I realized that sales was not for me. And I wanted to travel the world because that was always my dream from my youngest memories, is just to travel and experience culture. So I decided to quit my job, sell everything, and see what happened. So that leap of faith led me to over 50 countries across 6 continents and eventually landed me in Norway, which is where I reside now with my Danish husband and my 2 beautiful children. So when did I start teaching yoga? Like I said, I never wanted to teach yoga. I just wanted the practice for myself. So during some of these travels, I decided to go to India and do my yoga teacher training. But this was not to teach. I was actually petrified to talk in front of people. So I did it for my own personal practice. I did my 200-hour in traditional hatha, and when I got there, I realized that Eastern yoga and Western yoga was very different. And in the Eastern yoga, it was a lot deeper. It was a lot less surface level, and we were getting really into the breath work and in releasing trauma and letting go into kind of a deeper level of the practice. So I really learned a lot by spending a couple months in India and devoting myself to yoga practice from the place where yoga came from, right? After that, I still didn't want to teach. I was still petrified to talk in front of people, but I walked away with a just much deeper love and connection for the yoga practice. So on my travels, I ended up in Norway, and that's where I met my husband, and we decided to settle down. During this time, I was kind of just doing travel jobs and kind of figuring out, what do I want to do? I don't want to have a boss anymore. I don't want a 9-to-5 job. That just didn't work for me. So what am I going to do with my life? So I thought to myself, what are the 2 things that I love the most? Yoga and travel. So this is when I started teaching yoga, because I was like, you know what, maybe let me just give this a try and see if I enjoy it. So I started teaching in Norway. I had taught before that one-to-one in the United States, but never classes, and I had never really gotten into it. So then I started teaching, and then I started teaching a lot, and I actually really fell in love with the whole teaching process. I got over the whole fear of talking in front of people pretty quickly and realized, wow, this is actually what I want to do. I feel really good giving back to the community. I feel really good helping people, not just with their yoga practice, but getting deeper, right? Learning how to overcome trauma. learning how to move past the challenging times in our life and really, develop the life of our dreams. And so I started bringing this a bit more into my yoga practice. And I took some courses in coaching, for example, NLP, neuro-linguistics programming, and I started bringing that into my classes as well. So after a couple of years of just teaching nonstop, I started my first retreat. That was in 2015. And I absolutely loved it. Like I said, I was able to combine what I love most, which is yoga, helping people, and traveling. So from there, I continued doing international yoga retreats for 8 years and have now had retreats all over the world, including yoga safaris in South Africa, Mozambique, and Kenya, and also on a sailboat in Sardinia, Italy. It's become a huge part of who I am as a person, and I really enjoy bringing people together as a community to heal and develop friendships, but also to have fun. Part of me is I am a person that just loves to live life. You only live once, and I don't want to postpone my joy, and I like to bring others into this little bubble of mine, right? So when we're on retreat, we are absolutely living life to the fullest. It's not just about yoga and breath work. It's also about experiencing the culture, tasting the culture, exploring the country. And this is just such an important part of who Melissa is. And it really, really kind of sinks into my yoga retreats. So as far as teaching online, I am completely new to this at this point. And the reason I'm starting to make these yoga videos is I'm realizing that I want to reach more people. So in the past, I've been teaching in Norway and in my little local community, and I've taught a little bit in the States and privately, one-to-one, but I'm only reaching a small group this way, right? And I've had a lot of people asking me, can you do online classes and stuff? But it wasn't really my thing. But now I am making it my thing. And I'm hoping to continue to be able to offer classes every day of the week, any time of the day, anytime you need me, really. Anytime you want to heal, anytime you want to connect, right? So my practice isn't just about yoga. It's about going deeper. It's about finding who you are, and also my retreats, right? So if you're interested in a yoga retreat, or if you're interested in private classes with me, please contact me, please email me. And if you want to go deeper, I am always here for you. So now that you know a little bit more about me, Melissa, I hope you feel comfortable taking my classes, and I hope that we can really grow together, learn together, and as the days go on, these classes will hopefully get a little bit better and better, because as I said, I am totally new to this, but I am here to give it my all and try and hopefully bring you something that can help you in your life. All right, yogis, namaste. I hope to see you in the classes.
Don't forget to like, hit subscribe, and share with anyone that you think might benefit from this yoga class. Also, stay tuned for updates on free yoga and meditation classes and upcoming yoga retreats by following me on social media at Passport to the Heart. Namaste, yogis.